I worked so hard on this eye makeup. Do you see this? You don't know the work and dedication. I think I look better in glasses. May have to take off the glasses because you can see the glare. Hi guys, welcome back to this week's video. What are we doing? Hopefully you guys had a great Halloween. We're now in November. We're in the true fall era. I'm ready for Christmas. I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, so anyway, I decided to bless your guys' minds with a coloring tutorial. I'm gonna be telling you how I do colorings in general, what effects I use for colorings. We're gonna be going through a couple things today, but the most important thing that I tell you is that you have to have the Magic Bullet Looks plugin. There's a lot of tutorials without the plugin. You guys message me all the time about like, oh my god, how do I get plugins? And I like see them and I don't respond. I feel bad, but it's because I've said so many times that I do not teach you how to get plugins, okay? The only thing I can tell you is that I don't pay for mine, and there are resources to get it for free, but I can't show you or tell you how to get them because one, I don't want to, and two, YouTube policies. Like I can't show you even if I wanted to. But there's a lot of resources, guys. There's Discord servers, there's TikTok. TikTok is the main place when I was struggling where I went to. So yeah, but for this, you'll need Sapphire plugin, Magic Bullet Looks plugin, and I think BCC plugin. I literally have all the plugins, so I'm like never worried. But I understand that not everybody has every single plugin ever. You know what I mean? So all the colorings I use are up on my PayHip, except maybe my recent ones that I post on my Instagram side of editing. I haven't put those up, but most of my colorings are on my PayHip in case you're lazy and don't care for this tutorial. You can buy them there. And speaking of my resources, we have to play our beloved commercial. Enjoy the commercial and enjoy the video. Yeah.
Hello there. Like most editors, I have a PayHip. Now, granted, most of the things on my PayHip I already have tutorials on my YouTube channel for. However, if you're lazy or just want to support me, I have a numerous amount of resources and presets on my PayHip. That includes my popular glitch style pack, my shake pack, and even colorings, plus more. If the prices are too much for you, you are not obligated to buy it, but if you do, thank you so much and enjoy. I'm super excited for today's video. I literally love colorings so much. In a perfect world, when I don't like an edit, I will put the coloring on it and like have a completely different perspective. Colorings have saved me from literally scrapping edits. If you're a beginner, how I describe colorings is basically adding sparkle to your edit. As you can see here, the coloring just adds a different tone to the edits. Some colorings can prevent low quality or add, better quality. I think is the key for mastering colorings, if you're completely new, is to get other colorings and see how they construct them. So I'm not saying to completely copy them. Absolutely not. Do not do that. And don't even say that I told you to do that. Okay. Yeah. So to get started with our first color style that I'm going to teach you the effects I used is these type of edits. These are like my more personal edits that I post on Instagram, and I have absolutely been loving it. This is actually a different coloring style than I usually do. This is still kind of new for me, but I think I've made it look good enough to pass on the information to you guys. Here we are. Abby is our mascot today for this video. This is what it looks like without coloring, and this is what it looks like with coloring. Completely different, okay? Some people are not a fan of this. I used to not be a fan of these types of colorings because they completely change just the entire clip. Like it's a bit purple and pink now, but it works for the type of example edits that I showed you. And if you go to my Instagram, you can see them more closely and maybe understand what I'm talking about a little bit better. First, I'm going to tell you what I use for every single coloring. It doesn't matter this style. Brightness and contrast, okay? So the brightness is obviously going to help with brightening the clip. If you move it up, move it down, you can see that it adds more light to the clip, and if you move it down, it adds less light to the clip. I typically keep this between 30 and 40. Depends how dark my coloring will come out in Magic Bullet Looks, because that's a whole different thing that I'll show you later. And then for contrast, I love kind of like a dark look with contrast, but too much is going to make it look like a toasted oven. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but don't do too much. I'll do between 20 and 30. 20 is on a basic end, okay? I rarely move it down because like what is even happening? It's like taking the life out of her. On a good day, this is how my settings will kind of look, and Magic Bullet Looks will definitely help it look better and help you decide what to do with these. So here is, let me pre-compose so it's not like a weird rectangle. Okay, so this is what we have. Magic Bullet Looks, subject, matte, lens, camera, post. I'm not even gonna try to tell you what these subjects mean because I never cared enough to look it up. So the effects I have with the colorings that we looked at earlier are duotone, pop, contrast, haze flare, and mojo 2. Obviously, I'm not going to show you my exact settings. Honestly, look at this. It already looks good to me. So I'm going to show you exactly what these do and how you can alter them for your edit. But I'm obviously not going to give you my exact settings because that would just take too long and I don't even remember my own settings. A lot of people use sharpen, S-sharpen, unsharp mask, right? For their quality. Great thing to do. But there is also pop. Pop is more similar to sharpen, where it's not exactly sharpening your whole clip, but I would say it's like highlighting the details on her face. Like look at it with no pop, right? Normal. But let's just say we turn the pop to 30, okay? You can see her features a bit more. It actually highlighted her bags a little bit more. I never changed the size or preserved detail for my pop. You could if you want. The thing with pop is that you have to be careful because sometimes it can ruin your quality. If you do too much, Instagram is literally gonna think this is like a painting or something. Like, I don't know, it's gonna ruin it. So I do 30. If you wanna add pop and sharpen, you're definitely gonna need to reduce this pop number to a lower scale. We just spoke about contrast. Again, I already have some contrast on this clip, so I'm not gonna do too much to it. You could put it at like 0.020 or 0.030, whatever you want. But I keep it pretty low. Next is haze flare. With this coloring style, this is like literally the beef to a burger. Okay, it is the key. It is what makes it good. So I actually changed the spillage down a bit more because too much haze is a bit overwhelming. And then the softness I'll turn up. You can't even really see it now. You can see it like here and here a little bit. I'll turn it off and show you. See that? See the difference? Yeah. And then you can also make it a different color. It depends on the look I'm going for. Sometimes just leaving it as is enough. But if you want the coloring to be extra blue or extra red, then you mess with the tint color in haze flare. Next is duotone. This is going to completely shift the color of the scene. So be careful. Depends on what look I'm going for. So for the highlight, I'll make it kind of like a different color than I want the actual coloring to be. And then I'll make the shadow a little bit more toward the color I want the coloring to be. So if I want it purple or blue, like I have it at blue right now, I'm gonna go in shadow with blue a little bit more. Adjust the balance to, you can make it more or less purple. I usually just keep it as is, 65. Next is Mojo 2. Mojo 2 is definitely an underrated effect with magic bullet. Look, not many people use it anymore. I don't know, this is like an Instagram coloring and everybody's on TikTok now, so that's what I mean. You want to mess with the blues here. If I want my coloring blue, I'm gonna mess with the blues here. I'm also gonna mess with skin squeeze and just the overall tint of the coloring. You're gonna keep the mojo at 50 and you can mess with the bleach. Once again, mojo is meant to change, well, for this coloring, mojo is meant to change the entire just scene of this coloring. So yeah, this is how I make the example coloring we just saw, and I love this so much. I actually think I might save this, not gonna lie. Once again, we have brightness and contrast. Let's try applying what I told you. You may not even need it. See, like, I don't really like any more contrast on here. We have enough on here, but I'll keep the brightness. And yeah, I think this is so pretty.
So you're back from the tutorial. How was it? She's gotten so much better at explaining. Not really, but anyway, hopefully the tutorial was good. I hope that you guys learned some things. I know with beginners, they struggle with what effects to use, when to use them. So that's really what I want to talk about in this video today. Hopefully that was helpful to not just beginners, but also maybe you don't fully know about magic bullet looks and you just like kind of do whatever you want, or you buy other people's coloring so you don't know. What I said is kind of bad. I said that like key to good coloring is just going with other people's colorings and mixing it up. It sounds bad, but really like it's editing community. Like everybody does that with anything. Like we take something and we just make it better or to our liking. So I'm never gonna say to steal a coloring at all. If it's too similar to a coloring, you need to give inspired by credits to that coloring specifically. But I'm just talking about as far as like what settings to use. Look at a coloring that you want and then see if you could replicate it to a unique version of your own. And that's what I did when I was a beginner, and it's worked for me today. And if you want to see new edits from me, these are my editing accounts. And if you want to see just personal things, pictures, videos, extra stuff, these are my personal accounts. And that concludes today's video. I'm gonna go lay down and film another video. Alrighty, love you. Have a safe trip. Bye.